Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa Kane. I'm a film and television major with a concentration in editing, and I'm going to talk a little bit about one of the projects I worked on actually very recently. It was this past quarter. So this past quarter I took Editing Styles and Techniques with Shana Connolly. I'm sure some of you guys probably took it as well. And for that project, for our final exam, she was lovely and gave us complete free range to do anything we wanted, or to do a 3-minute found footage music video. And just that was too much. That was too open-ended for me. I was like, I can't decide. That's too many options. So I decided to go with a 3-minute found footage music video for many reasons. Because the project just before we worked with found footage, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. And especially as an editor, I feel most comfortable with footage kind of given to me. Like, I prefer found footage. I like when people just send me footage so I can just kind of edit and do my thing. I've taken production cinematography, but I'm not as comfortable just like shooting things. I think it never turns out right. So I really enjoyed working with found footage, and I wanted to do it again. So yeah, for the music video, I decided to go with a song called Miss Potato Head by Melanie Martinez. I don't know if anyone's heard it. It's a really powerful song that I love, and it really talks about the beauty industry and kind of the flaws in it and how messed up it is. And it's a song that I love and I relate to a lot, and I think it's really powerful. So I listened to it, I was like, oh, perfect, I'm going to do this. So I had a lot of really good ideas when I went in to go edit. I was like, there's so much to pull from. There's tons and tons of makeup videos that I can pull from, ads, all these different products, like beauty YouTubers. There's a whole like YouTube community of people just doing like makeup tutorials and things. And I was like, great, I'll pull from that. It'll be awesome. And especially the song conveys that message by kind of contradicting it. It has a lot of lines like, no one will love you if you're unattractive, or will a pretty face make it better? It's a song that I think is like worded very creatively to kind of display that. It doesn't just straight up be like, hey, the beauty industry sucks. It's very, through uses of innuendo and poetry, I think it displays it. So I thought it was a perfect song. And I got all the footage. I looked online for hours and I found perfect things. I was like, oh, this is it. This is perfect. And I started compiling that into Premiere over the song. I started adding more things. And the more that I searched things on YouTube, I started finding like tons more that I could dive into. I was like, I'll just talk about makeup, and then it developed into talking about plastic surgery, and it developed into talking about advertisements and magazine clippings, or like over-sexualized commercials that are like, for no reason, are very over-sexualized. Also, in the second verse of the song, it talks a lot about young girls and how the beauty industry is seeping into them at such a young age. So I found a lot of great videos of really young girls doing makeup tutorials or playing with makeup with their moms or something like that. And I used a lot of that footage and a lot of ads layered over it to show how installized it is at such a young age that like you have to be pretty and you're only like 6 years old. I think that's insane. So I brought that into on top of everything else. So I was like pulling from a lot more than I thought. I was like, this is great. I have so many things to talk about. And so I started adding all of those in, and I kept adding them in, and it started to feel really whole and complete. And I played a lot with duration in this project, which we also talked about in that class, about making a few frames just for a quick second so that the audience sees it and it goes away, and they're like, did I really see that? And to keep the pacing up. But then I also left some images on for much longer than they needed to, just to kind of really drive that point home. So yeah, I did that. I thought that turned out really well, and I spent like 2 weeks on it. I spent a long time on it, and it came out, and I actually really enjoyed how it came out. And personally, when I work on things, I have a good image of it in my head, and then once I go to edit it, it always doesn't quite turn out like I thought it would, and it happens all the time. I'm sure everyone gets that. But this is one that I did, and I was like, I actually like how it came out. I think it came out better than I thought it would. So, I turned it in, I got a great feedback, fixed it up, and it just keeps getting better the more I keep messing with it, and I love it, and it's great, and I think it's, something I'm proud of. And I really enjoyed working on it, and I thought it turned out really good. And then after I finished it, well, close enough finish, I showed one of my friends who was nice enough to look at it for me and give me some feedback, and as soon as it finished, she just kind of paused, and she didn't really have any immediate, usually she's like, oh yeah, it looks good, like, do this, do that, and she was very just, like, still, and she didn't really say anything right away, and usually that freaks me out, but in that moment, I was like, great, like, I'm glad you loved it, I know, like, that's the reaction I was expecting from people. And so after a moment, she was like, yeah, she gave me some good advice too and things to fix, but she also was like, that's really powerful. And so it felt really good for me, at least to get a different reaction out of people, like to get such a deep kind of emotional response from someone, I think is really important. and that's something I kind of thought about, but I never knew that's what I liked. So I talked a lot about how I like to work in narrative, kind of storytelling and filmmaking, and when I graduate, I hope to continue working in kind of narrative style. Eventually, I'd like to work in feature films, but that'll take a while. But work with like narrative shorts or storytelling, I just really enjoy, and I think by like incorporating that into narrative, I think would be fantastic. I like found footage, but I don't know if that's something I want to continue doing forever. But I can at least carry in those concepts and things that I learned from this narrative, this filmmaking, this found footage into a narrative style. So I think by doing this project, I learned that I really want to kind of convey a message. I want to talk about something serious and deep, and I want to show people something in the world and not tell them about it. If I just made a video just talking about something, it's not as powerful, but if I like showed it to you in a creative way, it really sticks with people. It sticks with you a lot more. Some of my favorite films are very deep, emotional films that dive into very serious issues. And I think even though they are heavy, I think it's something that's really important. And I think that's something I'd like to continue as I graduate and as I continue in life. I think I want to continue to incorporate those kind of deeper, heavier meanings into my films. And not just, yeah, I want to make fun stuff too, but I think at the end of the day, I want to make something that'll make someone think and stop and think about the world or the problem at hand or whatever I discussed and really make them think differently than they had before. So yeah, that's the kind of conclusion I came to while working on this project. I hope to continue to work on it more and continue to make more things like it and continue to just keep making things and learn and grow and see what other kind of topics and filmmaking I'm interested in. Yeah, I think that is it. So thank you all for watching, and without further ado, I'll put the video at the end of this so you guys can go ahead and watch it, and thanks!